So let's start with one of the two ways in which you can create inserts an algorithm that inserts elements into an array. So the first one is going to be my own method, and the second one is going to be basically the general method that makes use of inbuilt function Python. So let's start with let's start with the first one, or one I call my algorithm. So I'm creating a pattern file. I'm going to name it insert array. So the first thing you are going to do is to collect the elements. To collect the element you want to insert into the array and the position, that is where you want to put the element. So those are the two inputs that is needed in this case. So the first one, which is element, I'm going to name it the first input. So the second one, let me call second input is going to be the index, which is basically the position where you want to. So here we say enter the position. Okay. So when you are done with that, now you are going to create a function that is going to move the data to the right. So you are going to create basically first of all create a function that takes is going to take 4 arguments and say def. We'll call it insert array. Array is not my insert is, let me spell this right. Then my inserts. So this function is going to take 4 arguments. The first one is going to be the index or the element, anyhow you want to call it. The index, the element is going to take the list. It's going to take the size of the data. Size of the data. Okay. So when you've done with that, then you create a for loop that's going to shift the element to the right, right? Because we need to move the element one after the other to the right so that we can insert our own element into the position that has been provided. So how you're going to do that is by creating a for loop. So you say for I in range. So in range, the starting point is going to be the size minus 1. Okay, and the stop is going to be index minus 1, and then to move it to the right we're going to say -1, right? So that's how you're going to implement that. So when you're done with that, we say okay, list equals to list equals to I plus 1. Let me say equals to, we're going to say list, then equals to I. So what you do is that you are going to the list equals to index, input, that is index you put, then you assign element to that. You assign elements into that index. Okay, so basically you are done with that. Sorry, this place is supposed to be plus. All right, so the next thing now is for you to create your data, create your list and the size. So I'm going to create my list. let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'll put a space at the back, -1. Now let me tell you what is going on. Now this for loop here is definitely going to move these values in the list back to the right. It's going to start from 5, move 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But now the thing is that when you are moving 5, you need to create a space where you will be dropping the 5. So that this -1 represent the space, is the space where you're going to put 5. So 5 is going to move into this space, 4 is going to follow it, end up into the space of 5, and then 3 is going to move into 4 until you find the index where the new element is going to be inserted. So the purpose of this -1 is space, and you can put as many as you can. So let me put more. So all this one, they are just space. So it doesn't really going to affect the major values that are there. So when you are done, then you have to write the size of the element. What's the size of the element? That is going to be 5, because we have 5 elements there. Like I said, those -1 are just space. Then the next thing is to create another loop, if statement basically, and it's going to check if the index is greater than the size. Like if what you input is greater than the size of the element, then it's going to print out an instruction or information to let you know that the index you are choosing is greater than the index of our list. All right, then else what we are going to do is to insert the value. If it is no more than, then we insert the value, our new element, into the position that has been given to our algorithm. So we say if size greater than am I doing, sorry, if index is greater than size, then what will happen? I'm going to say print I will say please enter position between 0, okay, 0, 0, 3, 0, and let me put this 0, and I'll put the size. Let me create space here. Then here, I will say the size like this. Okay. So when you are done with that, I say else. I have to move this back. Else, what's going to happen? We're going to call the insert function now. So the else insert. So what are the elements? Index. Put the arguments into it. Index, takes element, takes list, takes what is size. Okay, so those are the value. I'm going to increase my size by 1. I'm going to increase my size by 1 because we are inputting something, so it has to. So I'll therefore say print. I want to print another statement here. Print the after dash. So I will look through the new. So now what I'm going to do is look through the new list that we have after inserting the value. So I will just say for I in range, range 0, and size, print the print list, not really list, the values. Then I'm going to end line with a comma. I'm going to end each of those values a comma. I'm going to put a comma here. So before I run this code, let me show you, or let me confirm everything for you. So what we are doing basically is we are trying to insert an element into a particular position. So you have to collect the element and the position. Then we create a for loop. We create a for loop inside a function that takes 4 arguments. The index that we want to specify, the element we want to put into it, the list, and the size of the list. So now we are creating a for loop here, and this for loop is basically going to move the values inside the list backward, like to the right hand side, right? That's what we are doing. So, and if you are moving 5 to the other to move it to the right, we need to create space at the back so that we can have the 5 going to have somewhere to sit while 4 move into the position of 5, and like that until we find the index where we want to put the value. Don't forget the index start from here, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So when we get to the index, we assign the element to it. That is exactly what's going on here. We assign the elements into that index. So when you are done with that, we need to check if the inputs here, the index here, is not more than the index of the value here. The total index here is 4 because it started from 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we need to check. If you put anything greater than that index, then we are going to get this. That's why we say index. If index is greater than the size of the element, which is 5 here, then we are going to print please enter position between 0 and 5. So else what we are going to do is to call our function, increase it by 1 because we are adding new element, and then we loop through the new values here. So basically, let's run our code and see what's going on here. Okay, so let's enter the element. So I'm going to enter 22, and then I'm going to put it in position 0, which is the first position. Now let's see what's going on. Okay, so the first position is actually 22, but I think there's an error here. So let me see what we are doing wrong. Okay, the reason we have this error, where we will discover that our element is doubled, it's repeated twice, is because of this line. It's supposed to be indexed with the for loop. We're supposed to move it back like this. So this is what we're supposed to have. So let's try and run it again. That's what we are going to have. Element, let me say 22, and then index position is 0. You can see, so 22, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5 has a place to move into, which is is actually the space created here, or the space created. In fact, you can make it just -1. Depends on you can make it just 1. It's going to work. Okay, so let me insert 76. Sorry, 76 into position 1. So you can see 76 still work. So that is the first method. So now let's consider the second method. So we are going to create a new file. I'm going to call it insert function. Okay, so we are going to collect 2 inputs just like we did in the first one. So I'm going to just copy from this one here. Control C. I'll use this. Then I will create an if statement to check if the index is not greater than size of the element. So I'll just say if index not greater than let me put list there. Sorry, it's greater than. If index is greater than length of the list, print enter a number smaller than list. Okay. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. This is supposed to be outside the comma, space here first before comma. Okay. So else what will happen? We are going to call the insert function. We say list dot insert. You can see the function here. You can see the function. So I'm going to take index. I'm going to take the index and the element is the object. And when that is done, and loop through the new array. So I'm just going to copy my last for loop here to loop through it. Okay. So change this one to I will change this one to length list. Okay. So now what you just have to do is put your values. I mean, create your list. Create the list. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And then the elements. So I think we are cool. Let me check. So let's run this and see what will happen. So the element is going to be 11 and the position is going to be 0. Okay. So now let's try and run it and see what's going to happen. I'll say my element on 1, then the position is 0. So as you can see, it gets inserted properly. So this is the second method. All you just have to do is create two inputs, collect two inputs, the list and the size of the list. Check if the index is not greater than the size of the list. Then if it is, print out this information. You discover else, just call the insert function. It's a built-in function by Python. Call it. It takes two parameters, the index and the element. So, and then you loop through the element after the insertion has taken place. So let's see if I put in a value that is greater than the size of the length. Let's say the element is 282 and the input is position, and that says 7, which is greater than the index position. To see what we are going to get. Enter a number smaller than 5 because the index is greater than this. So this is what I have for you today. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel because I have more great videos like this. And if you really want to become a professional programmer, it will be very nice for you to stick to the channel because there are so many algorithms and so many code that will be implemented that will be shown here to enhance your capability. And if you have any question or you want me to make a video on certain topic or certain area of algorithm, please comment it below and I will get to you ASAP. Thanks, and see you later.